Hi guys, I want to apologise. Some time ago I gave Kemi Badenoch some advice. I said, ditch the script, memorise your talking points and speak from the heart. Unfortunately, she did exactly that, which resulted in probably the most idiotic statement she as an MP has issued, or as at least the leader of the opposition. Have a listen to this.
So I was quite surprised, Mr. Speaker, at the tone that the Secretary of State decided to take today. She thinks that she can stand there and get away with the fiction that all of this was caused by the last government.
Okay, this isn't actually it. Just wait.
So let me refresh their memories, especially for those who were not here at the time. In 2010, we inherited 8% unemployment, and we brought it right down. The last Conservative government reformed welfare to introduce universal credit, and our reforms helped ensure that employment more than halved and was at a near record low. What have we seen since they came in? Unemployment has risen every single month that Labour came into office. Mr. Speaker, during our time, indeed 800 jobs were created for every day that we were in office. And at the same time, until the COVID pandemic, we kept spending under control, cutting the deficit every year. But COVID changed everything. It did. Now we face a new... Mr. Speaker, it is delightful to hear them laughing. I remember us sitting on that side of the House, and they were demanding that we spend more and more and more money. Thank God it was Conservatives who were there under COVID. Labour would have bankrupted the country.
She really should stick to a script. Thank goodness the Conservatives were in charge during COVID. Just let that marinate in your mind for a moment. I'm not going to say anything for a second. Just let that seep into your brain. Thank goodness the Conservatives were in charge during COVID. Thank goodness for who? The people who received PPE contracts? Michelle Mone, maybe? Boris Johnson? It was good for those people. The people who set up businesses immediately with no understanding of PPE or no understanding of the NHS, no understanding of anything, but understood how to make a few quid at the expense of the country. Dido Harding, what was it, £34 billion handed over to Dido Harding. Where did that money go? Who gave it to her? The Conservatives. How many people lost their lives because Boris Johnson refused to lock down, refused to follow the advice, then came out of lockdown against the advice of the scientists, the experts, which resulted in more deaths? And no, we have to say thank you to the Conservatives. Thank God those people were in charge. The worst possible Prime Minister to be in charge, maybe with the exception of Liz Truss, during a pandemic. You know, at least Rishi Sunak, if he had been Prime Minister, would have understood we need to follow the evidence. We need to listen to the experts. But Boris frigging Johnson, ignoring COVID meetings, Cobra meetings at the very beginning, when it was obvious that the government needed to do something, needed to make sure that there was a plan in place. No, he ignored it. And during the very end, where there was the cost of living crisis when Boris Johnson was in charge, as a result, of course, of the pandemic where people weren't able to go to work, people were not able to rebuild their lives. What was Boris Johnson doing? Flying around in RAF aircraft. And then, of course, the icing on the cake, PartyGate, where Boris Johnson was writing the rules for everyone else and not even following those rules, breaking those rules, and then, of course, lying about it. But thank you to the Conservatives for being in charge. This is the most idiotic statement I've yet to hear from Kemi Badenoch, and I've heard a lot of stupid crap over the last number of months and years. It's ironic that, or it's funny that Conservatives are sharing these clips of her, thinking, oh, she got one over on the government. She's holding them to account. Do these people have a functioning brain? It was a bad day for the Labour government yesterday. And it's going to be very difficult for Keir Starmer going forward. But on the other side of the aisle, Kemi Badenoch doesn't know her backside from her elbow. And to come out with such a statement that thank God the Conservatives were in charge during the pandemic, is probably the most idiotic statement yet. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.